So the big news is Frank Bisignano. He was confirmed as the new commissioner of the Social Security Administration just this past Tuesday, May 6th, 2025.
That's it. And the Senate vote, it was 53 to 47. Fell pretty much along party lines from
Uh,
what we saw.
And his background is interesting for this role. He's a tech CEO.
Yeah, formerly CEO of Fiserv. That's a big payments technology company. And notably, also a known donor to President Trump.
Hmm. So not your typical, say, career public servant stepping into this specific role.
No, definitely not. It makes you wonder, what kind of approach someone with that background might bring to an agency like the SSA, which has such a, well, vital social mission.
It's huge. I mean, just to remind everyone of the scale, the SSA oversees retirement, survivor, disability benefits,
Yeah.
plus supplemental income for people with very low incomes.
We're talking, what, over 73 million Americans served?
Yeah, something like that. And a staff of over 55,000 employees. It's a massive operation.
It really is. And, well, this is where the appointment starts to get a bit thorny.
Okay.
There are some pretty significant concerns being voiced. Former SSA commissioners, advocates for older Americans, advocates for people with disabilities.
What are they worried about specifically?
It centers around proposed changes. Things like restructuring, potential mass layoffs within the agency, things that could really shake things up.
All right. The information we looked at mentions some potentially big shifts, new requirements maybe for beneficiaries,
Could be. Also talks of closing regional offices, cutting overtime pay for staff.
and a plan to cut, what was it, 7,000 jobs?
Around that number, yeah. Which is, a pretty substantial reduction.
So if those cuts happen, thinking about the current workload, what's the worry about the impact on, the average person, someone just trying to get their benefits?
That's exactly the core concern.
Yeah.
The advocates are basically saying, look, fewer staff, fewer resources.
Right.
It almost inevitably means longer wait times.
Longer waits for millions of people needing services.
Not exactly. Think about someone applying for disability. That process can already take a long time.
Oh, yeah.
If the agency is working with, significantly fewer people, those delays could get even worse, could create real hardship for folks.
And then there's this whole other layer involving Elon Musk's team and this group called DOGE.
Right. The Department of Government Efficiency.
DOGE. Okay, so what's the connection there? Because Senate Democrats, especially Senator Ron Wyden, they raised concerns about alleged communications between Bisignano and this DOGD group.
Yeah, it seems DOGE is, a group within Musk's orbit focused on finding efficiencies. And apparently they've taken an interest in the SSA.
An interest.
Well, Senator Wyden mentioned a whistleblower who claimed Bisignano actually intervened to get DOGE officials placed inside the SSA.
Wow.
And apparently this happened quite quickly. Wyden even accused Bisignano of, let's say, misrepresenting his interactions with DOGE during his confirmation hearing. Lying was the word used.
Okay, strong words. But Bisignano denied this during the hearing.
He did. He stated he hadn't had contact with SSA leaders or DOGE in that specific way. But, the suspicion seems to linger.
Especially since there are reports suggesting that, current and even former SSA employees think a lot of the recent problems at the agency might actually stem from DOGE's involvement.
It paints a picture, doesn't it,
Yeah.
of potential outside influence on a really critical government agency.
It does. And it even led to a federal lawsuit back in April.
Right, filed by disability advocates. They sued SSA leadership, Musk, and DOGE.
And their argument was
Basically that the core functions of the SSA are being dismantled under this